Kathleen Matolo-Dlepu and Advocate Anthea Platt have been elected the chairperson and deputy chairperson of the Legal Practice Council. The Black Lawyers Association has applauded the move, calling it a commitment to the values of the Constitution. Matolo-Dlepu joins us now to discuss her appointment. Well, congratulations are in order.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
How do you feel?
I feel relieved and happy for all the women legal practitioners. At least its transformation seems to be happening, finally, in the legal profession.
What exactly is going to be your role? I'm just talking about you now before I talk about the organization itself.
Okay, for my role, I'm the chairperson of the Legal Practice Council, which was inaugurated yesterday.
Comes into effect today?
Today, yes. So basically, Advocate Anthea is the deputy chairperson. And we have an ESCO comprising of 5 members.
Now, the Legal Practice Council replaces all bar associations, and for the first time will bring lawyers and advocates under one or a single regulatory authority. Now, tell us about the significance of this move.
We remember the legal profession has been fragmented for years. For years, there were 4 law societies in South Africa, which are established in terms of a statute. Then there's bar councils, which are voluntary bodies. Then there are other bar councils, which are independent. So each one of them had their own standards, code of conduct, and it became quite difficult for access to justice for an ordinary person in the street. And also, entry into the profession was unregulated. It depended on whether you really get a chance to be admitted, to be trained, and then there was no regulation regarding that.
Now, access to justice, let's talk a bit about that. I mean, lawyers don't come cheaply, and that has had an enormous impact on how, on people's ability to access justice, especially the poor and the most vulnerable. How are you going to
Basically, the Legal Practice Act makes provision where the council can determine the tariffs. We haven't actually promulgated that regulation yet because the South African Law Commission is in discussion with the Rules Board and other legal fraternity regarding how they are going to move forward regarding that. So once the research has been done, then they'll bring it back to the Legal Practice Council so that we promulgate it as a rule.
What about issues like codes of conduct, for example? We're sitting right now with the Doberman incident, which has unsettled quite a number of people. Are you going to be dealing with those issues as well?
Yeah, definitely. We have a code of conduct, and which the National Forum, there was a National Forum before the Legal Practice Council. It had recommended a code of conduct. But the Legal Practice Council wanted to re-look at the Code of Conduct so that we actually advertise it for comments first, and maybe by the end of November it will be gazetted. Well,
I mean, the cry of a lot of black lawyers is that, for example, the state, for example, continues to use white lawyers. There have been certain incidents of accusations of racism. Are those issues also a part of what you'll be dealing with?
Yes, fortunately, one of the mandates of the Legal Practice Council to ensure transformation. Transformation is in many folds. We have to look at the briefing patterns. We have to encourage women to participate. You know, it's very wide, and it's up to us as the council to make sure that we really use that objective to the benefit of all legal practitioners, especially women practitioners.
Well, money, of course, I mean, has a lot to do with people's access to justice, as we discussed earlier. But there is also the issue of how courts are managed, you know, case loads and so on. Just your thoughts?
I think now that we have a legal practice council, which is a regulatory body of both, it's a legal practice, legal practitioners, but advocates and attorneys are still there. And it's easy, because advocates used to have their own tariffs, attorneys have their own tariffs, you know, so it will be easy under one umbrella body to be able to regulate that, to actually even have to see how much people are being charged. And if the charges are exorbitant, I mean, surely disciplinary proceedings must be.
But what about like things like court delays? You know, the time it takes for cases to be concluded. You know, the availability, and especially or in particular on the state side, of people to actually assist, especially the poor, through the courts.
Fortunately, presently, the Chief Justice has actually started the court management process, where he has issued, you know, notices how, I mean, it's a system where they regulate how courts should be managed. So even the high courts do have circulars that they issue from time to time. Cases do not go to court nowadays when they're not ready. Before they go to court, there must be a pre-trial before a judge, so that the judge sees that the matters are ready to be heard. And if the matter is capable of being settled, then at least people can actually do that.
Kathleen Matolo-Dlepu, once again, congratulations and best of luck in your new role. She is the chairperson of the newly instituted Legal Practice Council, and that body begins its work today, the 1st of